All right, you guys like cooking gadgets? So today we are here to check out the most sold top 5 cooking gadgets plus a bonus item. Now, the bonus item comes in because the list I got from the rep over at Temu on the top 5 kind of had 2 different items in the same category. I'm not sure if that means they sold the same amount or if the listings got split, but that'll be these 2 different choppers here. So we'll be able to check those out. And one of them will be coming up in the camping video next week. That's right, it's finally happening. I am doing this video today, posting it tomorrow, and then I will be leaving for the weekend trip, the camping with Temu. Well over 30 plus Temu camping items coming at you. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Hope you guys stick around and join me for that. All right, so right here we got a bowl of some fruits and some vegetables. So let's go ahead and start with one of these choppers. This is the Multi-Picador de Verduras, or vegetable chopper. Now me personally, when I'm cooking, I pretty much use a knife for everything except for garlic. I use my garlic press for that. But I do like cooking, and some of this stuff definitely might end up in the kitchen because it makes my life easier. All right, so hopping inside of this, looks like we have a whole bunch of different pieces and attachments. All right, in no particular order, let's go over what we've got. So first thing we have right here, this is the blade storage container. We'll get to the blades here in just a second. Right here, we have ourselves the draining basket. Then we have the grating blade. So I did notice it's mostly plastic, but there is a lot of metal in these attachments here. Coming up next, we have our base container here. All right, so right here inside of this little container, we have a waffle blade, a 3mm shredding blade, a 2.5mm slicing blade, and a 4mm shredding blade. So then right here, we have a small dicing blade. Check that out. I mean, they feel pretty solid. I was worried this was gonna be all plastic, and it's like, how well is that really gonna work? Then we have a larger dicing blade right here. Then right here we have ourselves an egg separator. This is called the hand guard. And then this right here is the cleaning brush, probably used to get down in between all the fun stuff for the grating and whatnot. So we are not gonna test out every facet of this, but we're gonna test out a few of the things that I think most people would use it for. Take the unit, set it on top of the container. Got yourself a couple of these little hooks and a handle. Slide her in like so. And she locks in there pretty well. Like that's in there. Now, something else I'm gonna use to help us get a couple of pieces going is actually this ceramic knife set I got from Temu. I did a video on this probably over a year ago. I've never used a dicer, so we're just gonna go for it. We're gonna put, that's about a 3/4 inch thick piece of onion in there. Let's just see if it can do it. Well, it's not quite getting all the way through. But maybe if we add a little more on top, it'll finish pushing it through. But let's just try using the cleaning blade. Oh, it did cut through all of it. So I guess with something like this, you still do have to do the work. You still gotta, you know, take a layer off the onion or whatever else you're dicing. So let's hop inside, take a peek. I mean, they cut through them just fine, honestly. Now, when I had it a little bit overloaded, it was a little bit too much for it. I guess the main thing I'm really wanting to check out here is the quality of the actual parts. So, like, on first glance, it sounds a little frail or a little weak, but it's actually built pretty well. Now, I don't plan on grating any cheese in this one today, but if we do look, let's look closely. Yeah, the blades are, I mean, they're blades. They're sharp. Again, the quality of all of these, they're actually better than I expected. Once again, Temu products bringing in the surprise. All right, next up, we are gonna try the dicer just on some tomato. You know, it's not a super fresh tomato, so it's not very rigid. It's a little bit softer. Let's see how well it handles that. Kind of squished it a little bit. So like the blades are sharp, but I feel like they could be sharper. That might help with this because it's like, it's kind of hard to see, but it's not quite pushing through. Let's give it a little more pressure. Yeah, it definitely struggles with the skin on a slightly softer tomato. Yeah, so I like tomatoes when they're at about this softness. It's kind of hard to tell from the video to where it's not bad, but it's nice and juicy. So this isn't gonna handle tomatoes like this too well. It did the onions a little bit better. Now, just for fun, one more thing. We'll try something a little different. We're gonna try a piece of the cucumber here in this dicer. You know, if you're making yourself some kind of salad. Okay, now that one went right through like butter. So The dicer definitely likes things a little bit harder, a little bit more firm, but you can see here, pieces looking solid. All right, so parts changes. So if you want to swap this out with one of the graters, these are a little bit tough to get out, but that means they're definitely not going to fall out on you. Put it in, slide it down. Now, we'll try it with something a little thicker first. I mean, it feels like it's working pretty good. She gets hung up a little bit, but then it just pushes the pieces through. Check that out. I mean, it all works pretty well. Yeah, overall, it seems like a really solid product. I mean, you've got a nice basket for rinsing out the vegetables or whatever after you're done. The pieces stay in there really well. My one complaint is they almost stay in there too well. Like here, check this out. Like I feel like I'm gonna break it trying to take it out. Like that one, I don't even know. Like you can see here on the bottom where the clips go in. It's very, very strong. And these little ones at the top here, I do not recommend doing this if you care about your knife, but I kind of get it in here and pop it up a little bit, and those ones come out a lot better than the side ones. So it comes with a lot of cool things. The price is right. I mean, they're both under $20, but I'm really curious to kind of put these side by side and see how they compare. Again, I'm not going crazy in depth with these, just some basic trials. What I really want to do is I want to put these in front of my eyes and let you guys know if the quality is there. Like, you don't want to buy it and then have like a cheap piece of plastic that just doesn't work. So we're going to keep it pretty simple on a lot of these tests. There is one more thing I want to try with this chopper. So it's a little extreme, but if you look at their advertisement picture here, it shows them using half an onion. So we'll take a real big chunk of onion. I am curious. I mean, it shows it. So we're going to cut her down to size just a little bit so it fits within the margins of the unit. There we go. As we can see, it's fully in the squares. Let's see how she handles it. You know, honestly, not bad. It just gets stuck up on this the softer outer layers. And if you guys get this, guys, don't lose this little cleaner. It makes this kind of step real nice. It's nice that it's included. I don't know exactly where these two rank up. Due to the way I get the information from one of the employees over there at Temu. But there's a really good chance this might just be a bigger version. So right here we have a 22-piece veggie slicer multi-function. I mean, it looks pretty similar, just a lot bigger. All right, first impressions, it does just look like a bigger version. If you guys can see that. The color scheme's the same, the lines in the plastic are the same. This one does have some very nice silicone carrying handles. That's pretty neat. The footprint on it's not horrible either. This one also has a type of sealing lid. Yeah, exact same idea. Honestly, I think these are the same accessories. Maybe that's why they were in the same listing. So that's pretty cool. We do seem to have a couple extra accessories in here. We have ourselves a peeler here. We can give that one a quick test as well, just to see what it is. Now, one of our other top 5 items, now keep in mind, these aren't the top 5 most expensive items, just the top 5. And this was number 2 on the list. We'll go ahead and knock it out and try it out with that one. All right, so this is the included peeler here. Now this peeler here was anywhere from $2 to $6. I mean, it feels a little flimsy, but the handle's nice. I mean, it's just a peeler, you know, they're not made to do anything too crazy. All right, what else do we have in here? We have some kind of rubber stoppers, another holder piece. So I didn't show you guys what this was for, but this grabs the food and allows you to slide it over while you're grating. It's just another way to hold it. This one comes with a cleaning toothbrush. It looks like just about the same set of blades, except there is one extra one in here. Another nice little carrying case for them. I appreciate that. But we have quite a few more blades on this one. All right, so the quality of these things, honestly, they're solid. They seem to work just fine. They do struggle with the softer things. That probably has to do with the thickness or sharpness of the blades. But considering these are both very similar in price, if you guys are looking at one of these and you can find this larger one, go with this one. It's basically the same thing. It's just a little bit bigger, but it has way more accessories. Look at all these different cutting blades. Now, I don't know how much you're gonna actually need or use these, but it's better to have them and not use them than to not have them at all, right? All right, with that, we're gonna segue right into our next offering. So our next offering here is this peeler. Again, this peeler was like between $2 and $5. Prices are kind of all over. You guys know Temu. So let's test it against the one that came in this kit. Is it worth it? So here, we'll try a couple slices. I mean, pretty much like butter. So that's pretty nice. Now for the smaller one, honestly, just as easy. It doesn't seem to go as deep immediately though. And it kind of leaves like a ridging on the edge. But you know, I will say, so check this out. It could be because of the width or the way I was using it, but this one wastes a lot less of the actual food. Very, very thin layers. So if you were to go right down the middle of this, oh yeah, some nice thin cucumber. Yeah, so honestly, overall, it looks like either one of these are gonna work just fine. Now, if you guys wanna see me do anything else with these vegetable choppers, if there's anything you're curious, will it do, will it not do? If you guys wanna see me use these to cook a full meal, let me know down below. I don't have a problem with turning a, tech channel into a little bit of a cooking channel, that's all right. Okay, moving right along. There's a lot of writing on the side of this one. Apparently this is a 600-watt electric rice cooker. All right, starting up, we have ourselves a lid with a fancy little handle on it there. Got ourselves a measuring cup. Then we have ourselves the main unit. It is mostly plastic. The inside is metal, some kind of a non-stick material. And then in the back, we have the plug-in connector. Now, I will say right off the bat, it's just, this feels really cheap. So hopefully it works. All right, now on this one, I'm gonna read through some instructions. We're gonna get some rice in there, we're gonna get it cooking, and we'll see how it turns out. Okay, interesting one with this. After reading through directions, I realized they are for a different unit altogether. You guys can see this is supposed to have a digital readout for these instructions. And we have a knob. Unfortunately, the knob is, it's not in English. So we're just gonna wing it. We're gonna do a 1-to-1 rice cooker. So we'll do 3/4 cup, 3/4 cups of rice, 3/4 cups of water. All right, after attempting Google Translate on the letters or words on the side, I had no luck. So we're just gonna wing it. Huge downvote on this one already, just because it's kind of a bummer to have no idea what they mean. It looks to be temperature settings, but with temperature settings in general, usually when I'm cooking rice, you just put it in the rice cooker. I mean, this is a made-to-cook rice cooker. So we're gonna go ahead and set it on number 2. We'll let it go for a bit, and we'll check back in. From what I can tell, there's no timer on this. There's no settings. It just kind of goes. The lid doesn't lock. There's no pressure generated. So right off the bat, I'm gonna kind of vote no on this one, but we're gonna let it run through. We're gonna let it cook that rice, see how it turns out. Also, for those wondering, a lot of people do say that they wish I had numbers on them. Today, we are saving number 1 for last. This was the number 1. Now, keep in mind, this list I have from Temu about the top 5. They don't tell me when it's the top 5. This is the number 1 sold Temu cooking item. Again, no idea what the time frame is. That could have been for a single day. Also, just a quick update. The water is boiling really fast inside the rice cooker, so I don't know if that's too hot, but we're just gonna run it and see what happens. All right, next up, we have ourselves an egg cooker. The number 3 most sold from the list that I have. This was number 4, and these were shared at number 5, the slicer dicers. So far, I will say those were probably the most useful. All right, so we have our measuring cup here with a needle on the bottom. The needle on the bottom is used to poke a hole in the raw egg to help with expansion when it's hard boiling. All right, so it appears this one also comes with an omelet tray and 2 egg poaching things. So you could put these in here. So you could put these inside here, close the lid, and you could set it to poach the eggs. That's a pretty cool add-on. But today we're gonna take this unit and we're gonna test out hard boiling some eggs. I love a good hard boiled egg, but a lot of these automatic cookers get it wrong. Now I will say right off the bat, this feels like a lot better quality than a rice cooker. So you can see it's got nice brushed aluminum or brushed steel all the way around. It has English on it, so I can read it. The instructions appear to be in English as well. So we have cooking, off, and keep warm. Pretty basic settings for an egg cooker. Let's get a couple eggs. Let's throw them in here. We'll put it over next to the rice cooker and see how it goes. Now, thankfully, this is also installed with a temperature monitor inside, so it will shut off on its own, which is what, in my opinion, makes a good egg cooker. Coming out of the side, this is a feature I really like. None of my previous egg cookers had this. You will see right here, this is the amount of water you need depending on the amount of eggs you are using. We are using 2 eggs, so we're gonna go ahead and use that one. So we're gonna go ahead and pour the water in. Now, we're gonna take the egg, we're gonna puncture a hole in the top. Again, if you've never done this, it seems a little counterintuitive, but trust me, it's the way to go. Now we just cover it up. This does have its own internal clock. We're gonna go ahead and hit the button right here, get her cooking. Now I'm gonna slide it over by the rice cooker and we'll come back to it here in just a little bit. All right, it has been about 7 minutes and I started to notice something. This was not shutting off on its own, kind of expected. And I see some dark colors down inside the rice. It does come with an included spoon, but just as I expected, it is already burning the rice. Now, that's kind of a bummer to me. So far on this list though, this is gonna be the one I am not gonna recommend, guys. I did try the lowest setting first, and after about 7 minutes, it did this. Now, if you wanted to use this as some kind of cooker, this could be a lot better at cooking many other things in a small, convenient package. As you can see here, the rice was stuck. The nonstick is working pretty good just with this plastic spoon. She's scraping right off anywhere. Given it's rice, it does tend to work a little better with that. But for rice, I am gonna rate this one right here a do not recommend. On that note though, if you guys do have one and you have tried it and have had better results, please let me know in the comments below. Coming up next, this one, I'm gonna show you guys what's in it. We are not testing any of the stuff in here. This is the #1 sold Temu cooking item. All right, first, before I open it, let's check out this case. Look at this. This thing feels like it feels genuinely nice. It feels thick, it's clean, it's got a really, really cool look to it for a little carrying case. And then the big reveal. So it is a little tiny portable full-on cooking set. All right, so you got some silverware in here, you have some peelers, a couple of different knives that seem, well, okay, we'll try out one of the knives. Let's try one out. Starting here. Nice and sharp knives. I do have to wash that now because that is going with us this weekend for the camping trip. Quality of the spoons feel pretty decent, not just gonna bend in your hand. I know a lot of this cheaper type of stuff you can get from different places for silverware and all that. It's very thin metal that you could bend accidentally just digging into food. Next up, we have some scissors. Oh, those actually feel really solid. Kind of a nifty design to them. Yeah, actually those feel really nice. Those are gonna be very useful for cooking this weekend. Now, it does only come with one set of silverware, so if you're planning on using this for multiple people, you might want to get some extra silverware, but you can pack it right here in this nifty little bag. I like that a lot. On top of which, it does have a microfiber cleaning towel here with a little bit of a rougher scowl pad in the middle for washing dishes. Honestly, this is kind of an ultimate miniature camping setup right here. You got yourself some decent little tongs, salt and pepper shakers, some spatulas, some spoons, and some forks. All right, up here in this top pad, you have yourself a smaller plastic cutting board. Look, it's not the biggest cutting board in the world, but this is all about convenience and small. It's all about saving space. Then up in here, we do have a slightly larger knife. Let's check that out. Again, guys, these are not like top tier chef knives. I know that, but all included for this price, honestly, I'm just surprised at the quality of that bag. That bag is nice. Like, you know, it's not super thin, it's not cheap, like it even feels insulated, which doesn't make a ton of sense to me that they put so much extra work into it, but I don't hate to see it. All right, then inside we have here is a wine corkscrew / bottle opener. That'll be getting used this weekend for sure. Not for wine though, not for wine. Yeah, once again, just from checking this stuff out, I'm pretty impressed at the quality here. Like, these feel a lot better than I expected from Temu scissors. It's a great kit. It feels great. Everything feels solid. Like, yeah, coming in at just under 20 bucks, this is going to make my camping weekend much easier. This one is awesome. I will jump out and say already, I believe that this is my favorite part of this top haul for cooking equipment. Now, I'm really partial to knives and cooking materials. The knives in here, they seem decent. Are they the best knives in the world? No. But these cheap kind of kits you normally get, they're just normally horrible. These are very solid, pretty sharp. Now, are they gonna stay sharp? Probably not. But overall, this in here is definitely gonna be a recommended buy coming from me. Now, if you guys have tried one of these out, I wouldn't be surprised. Those who watch my Temu videos, you probably shop on Temu quite a bit, or at least check this stuff out. Let me know if you guys have one of these, if they come in different colors. What's your experience? We got some kebabs, some steak going on. Let's just say there's a couple of really cool knives coming up in that video too. So if you guys are excited about that, make sure to get subscribed and throw a like down there. Throw a comment too. Any one of these things can be tested out there. You guys let me know what you want to see with it, because I'm going right after this video is posted. This stuff's all going to be with me, and we will be able to check it out there, no problem. All right, for the final one, it sounds like our eggs are done. You guys can hear this beeping noise when it finishes. All right, just checking out how they turned out so far. It looks like it boiled away most of the water. So let's go ahead and transfer them into the water real quick. She is still quite hot. Now, just for something to notice here, we do notice there is a little bit of spillover. I don't know if that means if it cooked too long or maybe that egg just kind of had more contents than the other one, so it boiled over the excess. Unit seems to have survived just fine, but keep in mind, when you take these off of here, this plate is going to stay hot for quite a while. Now, something else to keep in mind, this is one of the more expensive units from this test, coming in around $26. Now, there are cheaper ones you can get at Walmart, Amazon, places like that. But I will say overall, this does feel very high-end for what it is. And keep in mind, the reason I needed a new one, thankfully, is because my one from Walmart after about a year died. So while this is still hot, we're gonna crack into it. First off, we're gonna test and see how easily the shell comes off and make sure that it cooked all the way through. So as you guys can see here, that shell is just falling off. There's something so satisfying when the shell doesn't stick. I love it. Here is the test time. Woo, perfect. Check that out. All right, guys, I know a couple of these things may have left some testing to be desired, but I need to know what you guys want to see. I don't do a lot of cooking gadgets here other than knives and stuff like that, but if you guys do want to see more cooking stuff, let me know. We'll get it on order. I'll test it from any company, anywhere, anytime. If you guys want to see me cook a full meal next time, let me know. So on that note, thanks for stopping in, guys. Let me know which one was your favorite down below. If you guys like videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe. And keep in mind, we have that camping video coming up. So until then, we'll see you guys on the next one.